Good morning, everyone. Personnel Subcommittee, September 10th, 7:31 a.m. Call the meeting to order. Approval of minutes from the August 13th meeting. Wendy or Sean, any suggested changes?
I have none, so.
I'm good.
Okay, then the minutes stand. Classification of work, the golf course superintendent job description. It looks like fairly superficial changes.
Yeah, I'll maybe jump
Sure.
in and then ask Tom if there's anything he'd like to add. But Mike Wallace, who's been with us now for over 15 years, just really absolutely terrific guy, is retiring right around the new year. So in preparation for that transition and knowing that we're going to need to post to replace him, Tom, took the opportunity to update the job description. So really, largely what you're seeing is just what we would consider housekeeping in nature. It's not adding any new duties to the position, but really just modernizing and update the job description, which hasn't been updated, I believe, since 2004. So it is a job description that hasn't been updated in quite some time. We did ask the union to provide a response to us by September 4th. We followed up a few times and still haven't heard back. So if we don't hear back from them by the end of the week and the personnel subcommittee is comfortable with the changes we've proposed, probably we'll wait to present it to the full Board of Selectmen at the second meeting in September. We were really hoping to do it at the upcoming one, but we prefer to hear back from them first just to see if they had any issues or concerns with it. Tom, is there anything else that you want to add about that?
No, again, it's just freshening up the language in it. I'm trying to chip away at things that haven't been, have maybe been overlooked for a while, and this transition was a good time. The Mike Wallace and our assistant superintendent Brian Johnson both reviewed their job descriptions for me, and so they've collaborated with this. And again, no significant changes. It's just basically just freshening up and removing a couple of things that are outdated, like cash registers and that kind of thing. So.
Right. Okay. Were there any questions, Wendy or Sean?
Nope.
No.
Okay, I had none. Thank you. Is there a motion effective September 10th, 2020 to endorse the proposed modifications to the job description for the golf course superintendent position, and further that this recommendation be forwarded to the full Board of Selectmen?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too. Thanks for getting up early, Tom.
No problem.
All right. Next is as an oral report on the town clerk's office reorganization. This piqued my curiosity, Maria.
Sure. Melissa, would you like to take this one and start off? Or would you like me to? It's up to you.
Do you want to start and then I can jump in?
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, no problem. So we have another upcoming retirement right around December 1st in our town clerk's office, somebody who has been with us for a very long time, over 30 years, wow. Lots of institutional knowledge, an absolute resource for us. But again, just in preparation for that retirement, taking a look at what the office's needs are, and again, looking at the job description right now for our assistant town clerk positions, salary ranges to make sure that we're competitive, to make sure that when we move forward with the recruitment, that again will be competitive. And so really just kind of taking a look at the structure as well. And it is a relatively small office. And so Erica has an interest in, instead of having two assistants, to have an assistant and a deputy. And that way, when she's out of the office, there's one of the two people, has a bit more responsibility and authority to sort of act in her absence, just to give a little bit more depth, again, because it is such a small office. So we're really, again, looking at job descriptions, salary ranges, and structure. And we're in that process now, and we've got some pretty good drafts going that we're just not quite ready to present yet. So we're planning to do that in October. And again, this would all be preparing for that upcoming, retirement that will be happening in December.
Great.
Yeah, I think that covers it. I just was going to add, how critical Erica thinks this is for her office. I think, this is going to be a huge improvement for them. As Maria said, in terms of depth in the office without actually adding a body, it'll give staff an opportunity to really work and the opportunity to move up if they are inclined to do so. It's important for succession planning. It gives Erica a true number 2 position. So I think for her, it's really a recognition of what her staff has been doing and what, really elevating the position to what it should be. So I know she feels very strongly about that. I don't want to speak for her, but it is something I think she thinks is going to be a huge improvement for her office.
Sean or Wendy, do you have any immediate questions?
I do. So is there a deputy today? I just, the structure, like, what does she have?
Yeah, so there's not. And, sometimes you see different arrangements in different communities. Sometimes if it's like an office of 3, you'll have a clerk, a deputy, and then an assistant. Sometimes you just get 2 assistants and the clerk. And so we don't currently, of those 3 people, have a deputy. So essentially one of the 2 assistants would become a deputy.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So the $1 million question, whenever we talk about elevating a position, we talk about funds. So what does this look like on a year-over-year financial change? And within the context of we got a tough budget coming up, how does it rank in the priorities and basically how are we going to pay for it?
Yes, Sean, that's all of what we're working on. So we will definitely have that for you for October.
So conceptually it sounds good, but it's going to come down to the dollars and cents.
Of course. Absolutely.
How has, I don't want to get into a big philosophical conversation right now, but how has the job of the town clerk changed since this format was put into place, many years ago? I'm just trying to understand what really, necessitates the change.
Yeah, so a lot of their statutory responsibilities, I think, have remained relatively consistent. But I do think that you see, particularly in appointed town clerks as opposed to elected town clerks, is broadening of additional duties for them around things like records management and freedom of information work. Sometimes you'll see town clerks, particularly in manager communities, they actually serve as the clerk of the council. That's not the case here. But again, I think what I've at least seen is just sort of a trend in evolution with the appointed positions in particular, sort of a professionalization of the position and sort of an expansion of duties outside of just what are the statutory, the duties required by statute.
Okay. All right, more to come.
Oh, sorry, I was just gonna ask if Melissa wanted to add anything to that.
I think just in terms of technology and having to adapt to the way they do business, like Maria said, the statutory requirements have not changed, but I think the way in which they process things, the way in which they have to do records management, and that's all been modernized since the last time we looked at these job descriptions. So something in that area too, but forces the staff to kind of adapt to the way they do business.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's a great point too. The job descriptions are also relatively dated for these positions as well. And so much has changed on the technology front. So at a minimum, we definitely need to at least do some housekeeping cleanup for the job descriptions.
Okay. All right. Any other questions? All right. Thank you. Thanks for the update. More to come. And one communication item, regarding the memo for the job title change for the Business Resource Center Coordinator position. Would one of you be able to just briefly summarize that?
Yes, yeah, this is just a really quick item. And the Business Resource Center was created about 20 years ago. And as you guys know, we have a really terrific business librarian who's come on board, and he had worked with the library director and the library board of trustees to rebrand the Business Resource Center to the Business and Career Center, because over time, that career component, so helping individuals with job searching, resume building, et cetera, it's really grown. And so they wanted to rebrand the center to have it be more reflective of what it's actually doing. And so I had asked Bob, I said, gosh, if we're just doing just a job title change, it's not changing his duties, it's not changing the job description, the pay grade, is that something that needs, official approval beyond me? He didn't think so, but we thought that we would just, do a quick memo just to give you guys a heads up that due to the rebranding, slightly changing that job title for that position from Business Resource Coordinator to Business and Career Center Coordinator.
So we know unemployment is higher than it's been in Simsbury and around Connecticut in a long time. What can folks do who want to work on their resume or refine their resume? Can they reach out?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So Sherm, our librarian, is an absolutely just terrific resource. He's helped a lot of folks navigate things from unemployment to, again, job searching to resumes. So if they are interested, it's Andrew Sherman, and he's at the library. They can email the library, they can call the library and dial his extension. There's a prompt, but definitely would encourage folks to reach out to him if they could use some assistance.
Right. Any questions from Sean or Wendy? Okay, thank you. In that case, we have 2 executive session items. Is there a motion to adjourn to executive session to discuss 1, the town manager's contract renewal, and 2, the town manager's performance review? We'll be joined in executive session by Maria Capriola on the topic of her contract. Is there a motion to that degree?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.